Welcome back.
Welcome back indeed. The Californian band Foster the People are no strangers to controversy. Their breakthrough single, Pumped Up Kicks, was all about gun control, and now they're back with a second album dealing with another contentious subject, capitalism.
Yeah, big subject too. The band, Mark Foster, Cubby Fink and Mark Pontius here with us now.
Morning all.
Morning guys.
Good morning.
Before we speak to them, let's hear the song that first made them their name, Pumped Up Kicks. Right, well, that is Indietronic, isn't it? Was I right?
Yeah,
sure. Oh, you don't sound very convinced.
I haven't heard that one before, actually.
Okay.
I like that, though.
Indietronic is sort of electronic indie music,
Yeah.
isn't it? Ish?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, they're happy with that. Tell us about, first of all, we'll move on to other songs now, but tell us a little bit about that song. Why did you choose to write something about gun control?
I think just that week, I don't remember, I'd read something in the news or I'd heard something, and at that time it had been kind of something that had been sporadically happening in culture over the last decade or whatever, and I think that it just, I don't know, it was just on my mind, and it was a subject that I felt like was an important thing to talk about.
It's a very straight sort of black and white issue for many Americans. Your second subject we mentioned was sort of broader, capitalism, consumer culture. Was that slightly took more thinking to approach, do you think?
Well, I think like Torches, we toured on our first record for a few years, and that was really the first time that we got to get outside of the bubble of the U.S. and see the rest of the world. And I think that just that journey really kind of fueled a lot of the concepts that went into the next record. And part of that, I think, was just getting perspective on how people live in developing countries and how it differs from kind of the utopia existence that we have in Los Angeles.
Was it a bit of a sort of culture shock in some ways then, or what did you find were the main things that surprised you when you were travelling?
I think the way that people communicate with each other is face to face. I find that in the U.S., especially with like younger culture, that we're becoming, I guess, more isolated through kind of social media and the way that we interact. And so that was like the first thing. I'm traveling to places like India and Africa, just seeing people really connect and really, I feel like just like human to human, and that for me was a really attractive thing.
You're clearly the spokesman for the band, but these two guys, you do speak from time to time.
No, we don't speak.
You don't speak.
You don't speak.
You're the silent partners. Okay. But you did record in this new album in several different places, didn't you?
Yeah, it was mostly in California, in Malibu. We had a friend out there that had a house and a studio, so we kind of make it our little like getaway and just kind of focus on the recording there. And then we did a little bit of it. I think he finished the vocals in London, and obviously some of the preliminary like writing in Morocco.
So why go all the way to London to record the vocals if you started off in Malibu?
Well, we recorded the record with Paul Epworth, who's a British producer. I ended up coming to London. We kind of just went over schedule on a record. He's got a family here and stuff, so it was really just a practical thing.
And I suppose that's kind of part of the way the music industry is run. Let's have a little listen to the new single, Coming of Age.
Right, Cubby, you're not allowed to sit on the sofa. It's a rule. You're not allowed to sit on the sofa without answering at least one question. So here it is. Do you consider yourselves to be a political group as such, band?
No, I wouldn't say we're a political group. I think it's, something that we all think about. It's something that we're engrossed in our culture, but I don't think we're necessarily a political band.
It's called Supermodel, isn't it? So why Supermodel then? Because that's sort of almost an outdated concept in some ways, isn't it?
I liked that word because it's a word that you understand whether you speak English or not. Everybody around the world, when you hear that word audibly, it strikes an emotion and there's a certain connotation attached to it. And I think for us, a lot of this record was about obviously Los Angeles being the muse, but then kind of approaching it from outside the perspective, like I was talking about, outside the bubble. Part of this record is about redefining beauty, and I guess part of it is about kind of living in a supermodel culture.
Right.
Okay.
Who are your inspirations, music-wise?
Well, we were just talking about the last time we were in Manchester. Actually, we saw New Order here, and they're one of definitely a big influence. But it's pretty cool to see them. I think they played at the Academy 1 or something. But so I mean that's one of them. Beach Boys are I've talked about that a lot. I mean, they're probably
Can't
the
come
biggest
from California
influence.
and not have them as an influence, really, can you?
Yeah.
Guys, thanks very much. Great pleasure to have
Thanks
you
for
with
having us on the show.
Thank you very much indeed. Foster the People's new album, Supermodel, is out right now.
So that's it from us this morning. Back tomorrow from 6 when we have with us
Alan Titchmarsh. We'll be right here. Until then, have a really lovely day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.